Welcome to Candid Conversations, and I am the official Tracy Ricks. We're going to talk about resilience part 2. And if you did not have an opportunity to listen to my first video on resilience, please go back to it now. Or if you want to stay, you can go back later. But first of all, I want you to like this channel. I want you to subscribe, and then I want you to click on that notification bell so that you can become notified when I upload my new videos. But today we're going to talk about resilience part 2. Now, when I talk about resilience, I want to talk about the ability to bounce back in spite of adversities, tests, and trials. So I want you to know that you can bounce back. You can decide right now that I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to cave in. I'm not going to quit. And I am going to encourage you to listen to this whole video, okay? So that you can have the answers that you need, so that you can become more resilient. And maybe some of you guys, you'll just learn how to operate with resilience. So one of the characteristics I'm going to share with you guys is that we admit that we do not have all the answers when we're resilient. Let me slow down. A resilient person, we are not afraid to admit that we do not have all of the answers. Now, let me say this. We can never solve a problem, any problem that we're in, with the same mindset that took us into that problem. So what are you saying? I had to learn how to admit that I didn't have all the answers, that I needed help, which I talked about in video 1. But, a resilient person, we know we don't have all the answers, and we are open, okay, to hearing from others who have answers and those who have gone before us. And maybe it was something that held you back, and just seeking just a little bit of help. Knowing that you don't have all the answers will cause you to be able to be more resilient and to bounce back. There's always help that's available, but we have to, just be honest with ourselves. Well, we don't have all the answers, and that's a good thing. Now, the second characteristics of a resilient person that I want to share with you guys in this video is we practice patience, especially with ourselves. Be patient with yourself. Maybe the first time you tried whatever it was that you tried that it didn't work out, maybe you didn't have the answers that you have right now. Maybe you were not the person that you have grown to be at this point in your life. So maybe 10 years ago when you were engaged and it didn't work out, you guys didn't get married. Maybe it was because you're not the person that you are today. So don't be afraid not to date again. Be resilient, bounce back and say, you know what, God, I'm going to believe you for my ideal mate. And I'm a living witness that God answers prayers. Yes, when we bounce back in spite of bad relationships or previous relationships. And then I've learned that, the right mindset is everything. That's why I believe in working on having a healthy mind. Yes, renewing of the mind. Because now, that I've learned some things, I've grown, I'm patient with myself concerning, that maybe in the past, I didn't have the information that I needed so that I could, go forward in my life. And there's a lady that's listening to me, and you've had a few miscarriages, and you were afraid now to even try to have children. And I heard God saying this: go forward, bounce back, that he have you. And this time you will carry this baby full term. Matter of fact, I see a healthy baby coming forward. So I'm admonishing you to listen to this video and grab a hold, okay, to God's unchanging hand, knowing that you can be resilient with him, that you're not doing this in your own strength this go around. So we have to learn how to practice patience, especially with ourselves when we, want to be resilient, when we decide we're going to be a resilient person. And then the third characteristics today I want to give you guys is we focus on the present. When we're resilient, we focus on the present. Now, let me share a nugget with you guys. When we focus on our past, what has happened, and how horrible it was, it will cause depression. It causes depression. When we're too focused on the future and worried about the future and afraid of the future, it will cause anxiety. But when I live in the moment, I'm just focusing in on the present with God, that creates peace, okay? The peace of God that passes all understanding. And that causes us to be resilient because now we are focusing on the present with God, that we are calm, serene, and peaceful, because we know that he holds the future in his hands. We know that God said he knows the thoughts that he's thinking towards us to give us a future, a hope, and an expected end. We are aware of the fact that it won't always be like this. Go to my previous video. And so we realize that we're going to, just push forward. We're going to go forward, living in the present with God. We're not going to be anxious about tomorrow. He told us to give no thought for tomorrow. In other words, don't be anxious about it. Not that we don't plan, but we know, right, that as a resilient person, we know that all things are working together for our good. So we're going to focus on the present. And also another characteristic I want to share with you guys is we forgive ourselves for past mistakes. Maybe you've done some things they said you did, but you're no longer the person they said you are. So bounce back. Don't say, I'm not going to trust anybody because in the past, I've made mistakes with trusting the wrong people. And, now you've grown, right? Now you're a new person. You've renewed your mind. So decide that I'm going to forgive myself for my past mistakes and even the consequences with those mistakes. God can make even our mistakes to prosper. I'm not telling you to do anything bad, but even when we've made mistakes and we've missed it, God can, cover us. Oh, I just thank God for his love. He loves you that much. He can, even help you overcome those old past hurtful feelings and the mistakes that you made and dating the wrong people and giving your heart and your soul and your body and everything away when you didn't know any better. But forgive yourself and start loving you the way God loves you, and decide, I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to, not just sit here and let life happen to me because of the bad things that happened in my past or the mistakes that I've made. And the last characteristics I want to share with you guys today of a resilient person: we take calculated risk of faith. Yes, it's a risk of faith, even though, you've been hurt in your past, to learn how to love again. Yeah. There's some of you guys, you want to be in a relationship, but you're afraid because of the mistakes you made in your past of giving your heart to the wrong people. Maybe you didn't know God then. Now you've learned how to trust him. And so you're saying that, I'm going to forgive myself for, allowing me to be hurt. And now I'm going to take a calculated risk of faith. I'm going to trust that God got me, that I can move forward in him, being strong in the Lord, in the power of his might, knowing that his enabling grace is more than sufficient for me. I thought about Apostle Paul. He said God's grace was sufficient for him, that he had a thorn in his flesh. And, there's different thoughts about what the thorn was, but whatever the thorn in your flesh have been in the past, let's go past that, okay? And decide I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to bounce back from this. So once again, let me recap and give you the characteristics of a resilient person is that we admit we do not have all of the answers. We're open, okay, to receive instructions and being led by God about who to listen to. And I thank God for those who he has placed into my life. Let me make sure I slow down. That have helped me to overcome adversities and be able to bounce back even quicker. And then the second one I gave you guys, we practice patience, especially with ourselves. We're kind to ourselves, and we're not going to beat ourselves up because of what happened in the past and we had failed attempts, and we're not going to identify ourselves as failures. We're going to be patient with ourselves, and we're going to get back up again and give it one more try. Somebody said one more try. The third characteristics I shared is we focus on the present. We know that, as we focus on the present, that all things are working together for our good. We know that there's peace with God that passes all understanding. As we take it one day at a time, we're able to bounce back because we're not, once again, focused on what didn't happen in the past or what could happen in the future, especially if those things were negative. And then the third one, I'm sorry, you guys. The fourth one is we forgive ourselves for our past mistakes. Maybe you made some mistakes that cost you something, that made you feel like you couldn't trust anybody, or just made you feel like you couldn't overcome the adversities that happened. But God is saying, yes, you can. So we forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself. God forgive you. Nothing you've done that could cause him to stop loving you and cause him not to forgive you, but decide that I'm going to move forward, trusting in God, trusting in, his purpose and his plan they have just for me. And the last characteristics I share with you guys is we take calculated risk of faith. Step out and give it one more try. I'm going to say it again today. Take the calculated, slow down, the calculated risk of faith. knowing that God got you. He's pushing you out of that plane. Let me give you this illustration I like to use. There's two things going to happen as he's pushing you out of that nest and pushing you out of that plane. He's going to teach you how to fly quickly, or he's going to catch you, okay? It's going to be a safe landing. So don't be afraid to try it again. Get back up again. Get back up again. Get back up again. Y'all heard that song? Well, it's so true. And God is just saying to let you know that he loves you. He has an awesome plan for your life. He wants you to practice resilience, knowing that, no test, trial, or temptation has overtaken you, but that which is coming to man. He will not allow you or me to be tried, tested, or tempted above that which we are able. With every test, trial, and temptation, God has already made a way of an escape through the finished works of Jesus Christ, that we can bear up under it patiently. So I want you guys to know that you can bounce back. Yes, you can. And I'm here for you. Also, I have a class on Friday night, December the 2nd, for those of you guys who want to bounce back concerning taking your health back. You want to lose a few extra pounds, especially during the holiday, or you want to learn how to maintain your weight, and you want to know more about how to escape scale jail, then I want you to come into this class. The class is only $35. It's on Zoom, so you have no excuses for why you can't come on. And let me say this, if you can't come into the class live, once you register, you will receive the replay. We'll send it to you. So let's come on into the class with women who are action takers, celebrators, and congratulators. I have Dr. Tracy Roberson. She is an amazing woman of God. She is my personal health coach, and she's going to come on and give us some tips, some things that we could do. And you guys, I want you to know that I'm here for you. I offer these empowerment classes just so that you'll be empowered with the right answers, okay? So that you won't have to be stuck anywhere, that you can bounce back with resilience in every area of your life. Well, I'm excited about our connection. So once again, click on this video, like it, comment, leave me a comment, and then I want you to subscribe to this channel, and then I want you to click on the notification bell so that you can become notified when I upload my new videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. It seems like I'm going fast. If I am, y'all forgive me. I'm trying to slow down. Well, I'm excited about our connection once again. So thank you for allowing me to share this information with you today. And I want you to know that you can bounce back, that you can do all things through Christ who's strengthening you. So thank you guys again. Have a super great evening or night. And don't forget to share my videos. I believe caring is sharing.